What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone. And is the transfer window finally heating up for Juve? Because we are in talks with Galeno's agent. According to Di Marzio, although Pedula actually said that we held talks with his agent weeks ago, Mirko Di Natale said we held talks with his agent yesterday. And Nico Gonzalez is showing up to preseason with Fiorentina, and he's going to talk with the management. And there is some interesting news regarding that situation and why a deal could happen and why a deal could definitely not happen, even though Pedula is saying we are going to sign two wingers, not one, but two. Even though we thought it's going to be one, we all thought we needed two, but we all believed, nah, no way we're going to sign two. Pedula is pushing the Juve are going to sign two. So the transfer window is heating up. But like I said, in my life, if people watch Live with Julian, if you didn't rewatch, our transfer window right now is like a stove. And we have 4 pots on that stove with boiling water, or almost. They're almost boiling. We are just waiting for that first bubble to show up where you're like, okay, now I can put the pasta in. Where it's like, okay, now that one domino effect issue, that one block, that one domino stone drops, and we're like, okay, now we can bring in Toribo, and then everything falls into place. That is right now. We are playing on different playgrounds right now, so many, but no deal is quote unquote close, even though this season is close. But before we get into it, as always, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to talk about Galeno right now being the favorite option to come in and reinforce the winger position. Okay, Galeno, and not Sancho, not Adeyemi, not whoever we've linked to it. And actually, you need to give Pedula a lot of credit, because he's been saying Galeno, Pepe, Conceição for months, actually. He's been talking about these players for a very long time, even though the quote-unquote mainstream media was talking about Jadon Sancho, was talking about Adeyemi, was talking about all these players besides the Porto players. But right now, we are in talks with his agent. According to Di Marzio, we are in talks with his agent, and we want to feel what is the deal. Now, Pedula has reported that we have talking to his agent for quite a while right now. We know what Porto want. Porto, he has a release clause, and that's a bit up in the air. I've seen reports of 60, I've seen reports of 45. So let's say he has a release clause between 45 and 60 million euros. Even though Porto is one of those hard teams to negotiate, they need money, and they're willing to drop that price to 30 million euros. A fee that Juve still wants to lower right now. That, again, that's the transfer window. Although we don't have many options. You know, you might need to spend the 30 million because you are going to end up with no wingers. Galeno, I've not watched him. I don't. I'm going to be honest. I watched his highlights against Sporting Lisbon in the Super Cup, and he scored 2 goals. Look good, but it's one game, it's one moment. So, I cannot make my judgment. I cannot pass a judgment on that. Many people are telling me he's a very good player. Now, if you look at his output, it won't suggest he's not a scrub with output, but it won't suggest like, okay, oh my God, he's going to bring what we were 100% missing. But that's going off stats. So people are telling me he's a very good player. 30 million euros, the main option right now. I don't think agreeing terms with him would be an issue. I don't think that will be the issue. It's more so that the club is not really prepared to pay the 30 million euros for Galeno, because they feel that, like us, we are selling players because we're kind of desperate. So are Porto. That's the feeling I think Juve have right now. So is he going to come in? I don't know. But it needs to happen at one point. You know, you're going into the season. Como is 16 days away from now, or like 15 days away from now, basically, or 14 days, 2 weeks. We play Como in 2 weeks. We have Yildiz Timothy Weah on the wing. Yildiz, who was just back in preseason, and Timothy Weah is Timothy Weah. That's not good enough. Even against Como, you're telling your coach to prepare a season with no wingers right now, no attacking midfielder, and no center back that he desperately needs. So it is a situation, and we need to speed it up. Galeno is one of them. The other one is Nico Gonzalez, and that's a very interesting one because the news is all over the place. You have journalists leaning towards he's very open to joining Juve, to Di Marzio saying he's close to Atalanta, and even he prefers kind of Atalanta right now. So the situation is this: Juve want Nico Gonzalez, but only if they can include players in the deal. Fiorentina want cash because the players Juve want to include in that deal are a McKennie, and McKennie wants 4 million euros a season. Let that sink in. 4 million euros a season. And Fiorentina, rightfully so, are looking at it and saying, you are insane. We are not giving Arthur. We're not giving McKennie 4 million euros. I don't think any club is looking at McKennie saying, yeah, 4 million euros a season, not even as a free agent. So that is the issue right now, because Fiorentina want over 30 million. They want close to 34 million. Atalanta are prepared to pay that, according to Di Marzio. But according to other sources, they're a bit stuck right now because Scamacca is out for basically an entire season almost. And now they also need a replacement, or like they need a starting striker. So they're in a situation where they want Nico Gonzalez, but they also need to get a striker. And in the background, it's still the Koopmeiners situation. Is Juve going to make that bid? So is that money coming in? Yes or no? Do we need to replace Koopmeiners as well? It's a very strange situation for all clubs right now. And we are leading that strange situation because we want players, but we're not really putting in bids. We are just teasing it. Oh, Toribo, we have an agreement. We have an agreement with a lot of players, but we have no agreement with clubs. Actually, we didn't even make real offers to certain clubs. The Nice one feels like it's the loan thing is the issue right now. With Koopmeiners, is your 10 million or 50 million off right now. And with the wingers, it's like, yeah, maybe we can talk with Gonzalez. Maybe we can talk with Galeno. Maybe we can talk with Sancho again. And it's like, make a goddamn decision, pinpoint what you actually want right now, and go for them swiftly. I don't know what the situation right is, but I'm assuming the club has the money. Otherwise, you don't come into the 5th of August or the 6th of August selling all your players, and you're like, but actually we want Koopmeiners, we want Toribo and 2 wingers. We're in talk with these players, but we only can get 1 or 2. I refuse to believe that. And if that's the case, then you need to speed things up because Motta needs a squad to work with. You cannot hand them key players already with the season kicking off, then it's international break, they're all gone again, and they all come back again, and you're like, okay, we might have dropped already points, the pressure is on, now we need to integrate everybody. Like, it's not ideal. It started off well, but it's turning into a very, not toxic situation, but a very confusing situation with players for sale, but not really moving at a pace to replace them where you're like, yeah, that's the right pace. So a very interesting situation to keep an eye on. Very frustrating, whatever you want to call it. But what do you think? Should we be paying 30 million euros for Galeno or 30 plus for Gonzalez without players being included? Or do you have other options? Are you saying we need one and just get Koopmeiners and Toribo and keep it moving? Let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Ciao.